I know that some folks want me to just hurry up and get on with the creation of a critical mass of permanent notes. And although I admire the eagerness, I also know of the pitfalls of not being thorough in the fleeting and literature note phases. I had mentioned it before, but if we do these two phases thoroughly, abstracting and extracting all that we can from ourselves and the author, what happens is that the permanent note becomes something that is inherently stronger and more resilient over time. I think the biggest fear that I had when I first ventured on this journey was that feeling that I might lose that powerful force of that initial aha over time. However, working in this way with all of my work hidden behind the simplicity of the block, I've never felt any loss of impact. I mean, if anything, I wish I took a bit more time in the beginning to really dig deeper into what resonated with me. I've learned that when I traverse my Zettelkasten, the more information I have of how I came to that declarative statement is always better. Yesterday was probably an emotionally draining day for all of us, and I commend your courage, but also I hope you learned the lesson behind it too. In order to learn from others, we have to seek to get the best out of them. And welcoming them into our world is best exemplified when we've critically broken down what exactly it was that made us stop to capture our fleeting notes. Our very own Rick Krause sent me a quote this morning that I feel sums literature notes up quite nicely. The literature notes phase is about bringing people together, my thoughts and their thoughts. It's bringing together me and my thoughts with them and their thoughts. And I can't think of a more beautiful way to look at the world. Okay, you know where I stand on things. So, after we welcome others into our world, I mean, what's next? Like, how do we incorporate that? How do we know what the hell they're saying in our own words? I mean, couldn't we be wrong? Couldn't we be misunderstanding what they're saying? How can we be so confident that we're taking what the author is saying and are explaining things perfectly? This is all so confusing, isn't it? Well, let's slow things down a bit. Remember day 13? Trusting in ourselves. I want to do something different for today's writing exercise. So let me walk you through some things first. Open up your page and let's fire off the template for day 17. Per usual, let's start with the bane of your existence, the timestamp. I promise you, it'll make sense, but not now. It's just an annoying thing I'm making you do. The very first thing you'll notice are 12 attributes with a child block underneath each. Let's search for the page album/photo. There we go. And holding shift, let's click on that in order to have that open in the right sidebar. So you should see something like this. By the way, this is movable, so if you hover between the main page and the right sidebar, you can move it to fit things accordingly. And let's have it nearly centered. You're going to see 12 photos hidden behind the top level parent block. And what I'd like for you to do is open one at a time while writing into your page accordingly. And this is getting kind of scary. I wonder what's behind door number 1. Again, I want you to go through this one by one, so expand each block individually, moving to the next one once you're finished. What you're going to write in your page is, first, your abstraction on what the photographer captured, and go wild. Really interpret each and every detail you can see in the photograph that the photographer captured. And if you click on the photo, it'll pop up into a larger view, although you can't type and see that larger view at the same time. But I want you, in your own words, to interpret what the photographer captured and is presenting to you. After you've wrung out all that you can out of the photograph, at the top level parent block on your page, write a one-word description of what you abstracted. A thumbnail. You see what I did there? Anyways, do that for each photo, really wringing out all that you can out of each shot, summarizing at the top accordingly. I hope this exercise is a bit less emotionally draining, but I can't guarantee that.